lane fast, call it high speed. I've been working hard, yeah, I've been working nightly. If you think you'll win, nah, unlikely. I be taking shots, yeah, cold-blooded, icy. Watching numbers grow is what I call sightseeing. In the front row, run it up when they hype me. The following grows, they know how to ignite me. Call me CEO, I've been running shit right, see. And I ain't playing games, I create my own lane, making pleasure out of pain, turning losses into gains. I'm the boss, I'm making change. I've been rocking this exchange, popping off and risking things. Gonna make a f***ing name. I just wanna be famous, but I don't want that cheap fame. No, I'm not that vain. I just wanna be greatness. 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 Ain't no motherfucker in this world could do it like me. Open up your eyes and insert a little rising. You don't have to love me, you don't have to like me. Got enough love in myself, in my psyche. You should have the same in your brain nightly. If you wanna taste me, you can fucking try me. If you wanna hate me, you know where to find me. And if you go and hate this, you can fucking bite me. Okay, I'm going off every chance I get. I don't really take a loss, well, I'll admit. That's why I'll make it to the top, yeah, I commit. And no, I'm never getting lost, I get after it. Investing in my own stock, cause it's faster than any crypto hits go, let me spend. Everything that you see is something I invent, and it's only a percent. I'm gonna take shots, if I miss all, forget it. I'll take a fat loss just to learn all that's in it. I'm taking snapshots, learning how to fall and get it. I'm getting back up, always stand tall, don't sweat it. I never back up, I don't miss a thing or regret it. I'm always learning, you could call me academic. I'm always working, never been apathetic. That energy is like a poison, needs some antiseptic. Ain't no motherfucker in this world could do it like me. Open up your eyes and insert a little rising. You don't have to love me, you don't have to like me. Got enough love in myself, in my psyche. You should have the same in your brain nightly. If you wanna taste me, you can try me. If you wanna hate this, you know where to find me. And if you go and hate this, you can fight me. Ain't no motherfucker in this world could do it like me. Open up your eyes and insert a little rising. You don't have to love me, you don't have to like me. Got enough love in myself, in my psyche. You should have the same in your brain nightly. If you wanna taste me, you can fucking try me. If you wanna hate me, you know where to find me. And if you go and hate this, you can fucking fight me. Ain't no motherfucker in this world can do it like me. Open up your eyes and insert a little rising. You don't have to love me, you don't have to like me. Got enough love in myself.
Hey, hey, beautiful people. I'm just bringing Mac J up. How are we all? Got Julie in here. Of course, a beautiful Mac J that's on stage with me. Spirit Time, how are you, my darling? Sweet Misery, how are you? Okay, we're going to try and not stay on too long tonight, because Mac J's got heat waves and I've got no lights. That might work a bit better. I always forget to turn them on. And I froze already. I'm going to keep my camera off. It might help.
We've got a lot for you guys, like a lot.
No, my whole computer's frozen right now. Just 2 seconds. I'm just trying to get my computer back.
We good? No.
Can you still hear me?
I can still hear you. Yes. Can you still hear Aussie chat? Can the chat?
I can still hear you. I'm just frozen. It always freezes on such a nice shot, doesn't it? It's because I've got a couple of screens open as well, because I was going to show stuff and I don't want to delete them.
Okay, chat saying they can see. They can. Okay. Oh man. Yeah. I can't even see your icon. I can only see a black spot and your name.
Hang on, I'm just going to reload the.
Okay. Well, we'll just wait for Ozzy to come back. Yeah, so Ozzy found some really cool stuff on Gypsy. And we've got a lot for you guys. I've just sort of been helping in the background. Yeah. Oh, sweet. Bye-bye, huh? No, Ozzy's coming back. She's frozen. No, Ozzy's just refreshing, guys. Yeah, she's back.
Okay. It always happens when I've got screens open or I've got someone on stage with me. I don't know why. Maybe I need to update my computer again.
Could be.
Yeah, I know. And it always freezes on such a nice shot too. Like it could never just be a nice shot.
I was just
I had different emotions on Gypsy.
Yeah.
Sweet misery. I think we all have different emotions on Gypsy. Like this case, I actually followed it. Probably, I've looked at this case for probably 4 years. Personally, I really felt for Gypsy at the start. And then once I actually really started looking into the case, I took a different perspective on it. But I have got to say, why I take a different perspective on this case is I have an autistic son. My son is high functioning autistic. He is 23 years old. And when I look at Nick, I see something that could happen to my son very easy. He's very persuasive of the internet and what people say to him. I guess that's why I take a different perspective. But once we saw Gypsy come out of prison, it's sort of went around her was just crazy. And that's when me and Mac J said we have to cover this case because do you mean it's crazy that someone who murdered their own mum or was part of it could get so much hype. What are your thoughts, Mac J?
Well, yeah, I think we were still watching. I think we reached the end of Savannah a few days before we finished part 2 or part 3 of Savannah? Part 3 of Savannah, yeah. The Gypsy Rose. Yeah, part 3. Gypsy Rose got out of prison, and then there's that Lifetime movie, and we were just watching it, and I think it was Ozzy asked if we wanted to do Gypsy Rose, and I said sure. And then, of course, I watched the episodes on the Lifetime, and she cries when asked about her mother. She cries, and yet not a single tear is shed. And last I checked, her eye ducts didn't get cut out. I just can't stand her. I can't stand the fact she's making millions of dollars, and yet she killed someone. I mean, millions. Literally, she's worth $3 million, and she's getting all this book
and
deals.
She holds no responsibility for what she's done.
No, she doesn't.
Yeah, and she has no responsibility for what she's done. Sweet misery. He's 23 years old. I'll tell you a story. So my son thinks he's gay. I don't know. He's never had a boyfriend or a girlfriend, but he says what he says, and we accept that. But 90%, like he doesn't have a lot of friends because of how high functioning he was. He was picked on a lot at school. And when I say picked on, do you know what I mean? People used to take door handles off because when they're with the autism, they know their routine. And Jimmy, when he got to high school, he knew he had to be in a certain class at a certain time. So that's what ran him, was his routine. And he'd go into the classroom, and other kids would literally take door handles off so that he couldn't get in that classroom. And then he would have a meltdown. So he soon decided that he didn't like people outside our family. We pulled him out and we put him into, it was a program that had 15 autistic children in it. And the idea was that all of the people were the same, like all the kids were the same, that they would get on. And there was another participant in there that was very Christianity weighed, and I mean, he put his opinions on my son and ended up in a push-up at the program. So after that, do you know what I mean, that sort of, my son withdrew. Then we had COVID, so like we moved to Melbourne and we had COVID, so it didn't help him. He's now started reaching out and he makes friends online, and he got a boyfriend online, and then this boyfriend apparently broke up with him over tarot cards. So now he hates tarot cards. So that's what I mean. It's like the littlest thing when they're autistic that they just jump onto. So I can really see how Nick was a level 2, level 3 autistic. My son's level 3. But I can really see how Gypsy giving him that bit of attention, he would have really jumped onto it. Jimmy, he would have done anything for her. And
he still won't rat around.
Once you research into it, no. Well, when it comes into it, and like, I mean, we've done a fair bit of research onto it now, but even to this day, Nick still thinks Gypsy and him are meant to be together. One of the facts that I was looking into, and I mean, it's pretty scary. When they actually met at the picture theatre and they went to the toilet, done what they did, after that happened, Gypsy actually told Nick that she was pregnant with his child. And she actually told him that she lost the child because her mum made her change her feeding tube. Now, we all know that that can't happen. That's not a way that you could lose a child. But Nick still to this day believes that Gypsy had his baby inside of her. Do you know what I mean? He thinks he had a daughter to her. He still believes it. And I know with autism, that's the thing. Once they've got something in your head, you can't get it out. Do you know what I mean? If they're fabricated on it.
Yes.
Like to this day, there is still things that Nick will not tell us. Do you know what I mean? I've spoke to people that have talked to him. I've watched exclusive interviews of people that have spoke to him, and there's still things that Nick said he'll never say because he doesn't want to get Gypsy in trouble. What's ridiculous, because she's throwing him to the wolves. Like,
and I reckon she knew that too, right from the beginning. Like she knew, she took advantage of his autism, because she might not have gone to school.
Well, they should be, because unless you go through the bullying, and I know a lot of people who have, or you've had children that have gone through the bullying, it's really hard to understand just how bad it is. My second oldest daughter, I have 3, but my second oldest daughter spent her whole childhood protecting my son. She was a year older than him. So all through school, she protected him, and now she's his carer. She now cares for my son full time. So, do you know what I mean? It's amazing the bond they grow, but yeah, it's really hard. So we'll go back a little bit. I want to go back into a bit of the history. Now, we're not going to get all of Gypsy done today. Obviously, there's a lot of stories to be told about this girl. And there's a couple more cases that me and Mac J are talking about. So we're probably going to do I mean a couple on Gypsy and a couple on some others, but we'll just start with some of the history.
Yep.
I know a lot of people think that it's the Gypsy Rose case, but it's not actually the Gypsy Rose case.
It's the Dee Dee Blanchard.
It's the passing of Claudine Blanchard. What is her mum? Claudine was also known as Dee Dee. That's what most of us know her as. It was her nickname given to her by her siblings. And we do know that she passed on the 9th of June. And her body was found on the 14th of June in 2015. Dee Dee was born Claudine Petra, I think it's on May 3rd in 1967. Petra, yeah, Pitre. Petra, I think, in Louisiana. And Dee Dee grew up with her family in nearby Golden Meadow. Dee Dee was one of 5 children, and her relatives recall that Dee Dee had a habit of stealing from her family when she was young and when she didn't get her own way. And these are important because this is where we see where Gypsy gets it from. You've really got to look at, who Dee Dee was.
Yeah.
Because when we think about it, Dee Dee was the main influence in Gypsy's life. She's taught Gypsy everything she knows. So Dee Dee's siblings also said that their mother treated her better than the others, and for this they all resented Dee Dee as well. I do know that Dee Dee looked after her mother for quite a bit of time towards the end, because Dee Dee's mum passed, I think it was 97. I'm not sure, but I know I think it was 1997. At some time in her early life, Dee Dee worked as a nursing aide as well. And she expressed suspicion that So, as I said, she was looking after her mum. So she was a nursing aide, and then she was looking after her mum towards the end. And a lot of her siblings will say to this day that they have suspicion she passed of malnutrition and stuff like that. They all, I don't know. There's no proof that it was her, but it's just in the family. That's what they say. But this is what I mean. There's so many stories around this case and so many rabbit holes that you can go down.
Oh, yes. Very much so.
Sorry, I'm just seeing Kaz's. My computer's going so slow. The lockdown was the worst thing that could have happened, especially for those with special needs. It was. I was a disability, most people know I was a disability support worker, and when the first bit of COVID hit, it was really hard because
Is Aussie frozen? Chat, is Aussie frozen? Or is it just me? Hey, chat. Can you... Okay. I think Aussie's been StreamYard, or StreamYard may have kicked her off, or the computer's frozen again. There. So she's froze for you too. Okay. I'll just see if I can find out for you guys. Cause let's see. Okay. 2 more messages. Hey Jody. Ozzy's just, I think her computer's frozen, or StreamYard's kicked her off. So I'm just sending her a message. Okay. Okay, your StreamYard. Okay, she's resetting it. So yeah, we've done Jody and I, not Jody, Ozzy and I have done a lot of this online on Facebook. So yeah, we've posted stuff in the Facebook
Yeah, just completely
group.
shut
So,
down.
oh, you're back?
Hey. Yeah.
You're back?
My StreamYard completely shut down. Can you hear me?
Weird. Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
I don't know, my StreamYard is completely shut. It doesn't really like us talking about Gypsy.
Yeah, it's
So yeah, going back to the lockdown with special needs. I was working in disability at the time. We had 3 non-verbal clients, and when COVID happened, do you know what I mean? They didn't understand what COVID was. They didn't understand why they couldn't go to programs. It was so hard because we couldn't explain it to them either. They thought they were being punished. Then I came home to my son, obviously, that has he's autism, but with any disability, it's not just one thing. He's also half blind and he's half deaf. So we started trying to get him into some programs when COVID happened, and a lot of it, as we know, became online. So it was Jimmy meeting people over Zoom calls and everything. It was so hard to get my son to be able to connect with people. Jody is cool. How are you? Mama knows best. How are you? But yeah, it was, the nursing homes would have been the same. Yep. Yeah, it was horrible. Sorry, I'm just trying to reach out. So I don't know how long my net's going to stay up for. Obviously, it's having its moments. So we'll get back to Dee Dee. But understanding disability is a big part of this case, because then you understand Nick. And Jimmy, as I said, that's probably why I have my feelings on this case. I do. So yeah, so back to Dee Dee anyway. There was allegations that Dee Dee poisoned his stepmother. You there?
Mm-hmm. I just wanted to quickly say, with the disability part of it, Gypsy has all these like physical disabilities, like as a result of Dee Dee, and so the court took that into consideration. But when it came with Nick, they're just like, nope, life in prison. And he has, even with all the evidence presented, I'm just like, what?
See, the difference was when it came to the court case is Gypsy took an appeal straight away. We will go into watching the interrogation, and it's important that you watch the interrogation because she really shows herself there. She thought that she was going to get away with this. She thought she was going to, well, she did convince Nick to do what he did, but she thought by the time that they were going to be found, do you know what I mean? They would have seen her as the poor little victim and she was going to get out of it. It's towards the end of the interrogation video that you actually see the change in her, probably the last half an hour to an hour, where she knows she's not getting out of it. And straight away she took an appeal, and with that appeal came in to play things like they couldn't get her for the fraud. So now, I mean, even though she had so much go on with her mum, they can't go back and charge her for any of that. And a lot of those things are tied up in the appeal that she took. And that's why she only got the 10 years, having to only do 8. Whereas Nick didn't get as good representation. He didn't take an appeal. Do you know what I mean? He tried to fight it because he didn't believe that he'd done anything wrong. He thought he'd saved Gypsy and he'd done this good thing. And I don't think his lawyers represented him the way they should have, especially with his diagnosis and the way he thinks. So, yeah, he got life. And I know he has been appealing it lately. But as far as I know, that the appeals were shut down as well. So I don't think he's got his appeals. Hi, Warrior Nun. How are you? So back to Dee Dee. So Dee Dee poisoned her stepmother with weed killer. There were no charges laid for this to prove it. So you can't, there's no actual charges, but the father and the stepmother swear by it that it was Dee Dee that done this. When Dee Dee moved out, the stepmother got better. Do you mean she wasn't as sick all the time? And Dee Dee was very street smart and definitely knew how to get what she wanted. And she learnt this from her mother from an early age. So, do you mean, again, this is going through, you can start to see where Dee Dee got it to understand where Gypsy got it from. Was she?
Yeah, true.
Great misery, but she was.
Can I ask you a question? It's about the case. So
yeah,
Dee Dee's mother, how did how do they reckon Dee Dee unalived her? Because I missed that part.
She passed of malnutrition, and because Dee Dee was looking after her towards the end, the siblings said that she wasn't feeding her mother enough and giving her mum the care she needed. So I think it was 1997 the mother died. But a lot of what Gypsy learnt, what Dee Dee learnt, she learnt from her mum. So her mum was like this. Her mum favoured Dee Dee as well. And do you know what I mean? You can just see how it was passed through the generations as well. Because you've got to remember, a lot of what Gypsy's like is what she's learnt off Dee Dee.
Yes.
So, and what Dee Dee knew is what she learned off her mum. So it's a very generational, it's sad, but that's what it is. As I said, Dee Dee was also, she was really pretty when she was younger, and she used to also go into pageant contests a lot. I don't know if she actually won any, but I know she used to enter a lot of them. And when Dee Dee was 24 is where she met Rod Blanchard. What's Dee Dee? Gypsy's dad.
Oh boy,
Rod was only 17.
Did she?
He was 17. Dee Dee was 24.
A minor. Yeah. Ick.
Hi, Trailer Trash Barbie. Yeah, so she was 24, Rod was 17. They met at a bowling alley, and basically Dee Dee just set her sights on him. Do you know what I mean? As I said, she knew how to get what she wanted.
It sounds familiar.
She fell pregnant with Gypsy. She fell pregnant with Gypsy. So Rod tried to do the right thing by Dee Dee, and he married her. They were together for a total of about 5 or 6 months before they separated, because Rod basically turned 18. He realized he wasn't happy. He wasn't where he wanted to be, and they ended up separating. Not a lot of people know, but Rod also had an affair in that 5 or 6 months, and he also had someone else, he someone else fell pregnant. So Gypsy actually has a sister that is 6 months younger than her, or older than her. I'm not sure, but I know there's 6 months difference between her sister and her. So Gypsy was born. Rod signed all of his rights to a Fairchild that he had away. So the only one he had to pay for was Gypsy. I don't know. That's why there's not a lot about her. There's only a few people that will even talk about her. I got it from family. There was people in the family. I've seen conversations that were talking about it, but I don't know. That's just what he did.
So he already had a history of.
Gypsy was. Well, he was only young. He was 17 when he met Dee Dee.
Yeah.
He was 18 when they divorced. So they're only together for like 5 or 6 months. But in that time, I know he had an affair and had someone else fall pregnant as well. Do you think a 17-year-old, that would have been a lot? So
yeah,
obviously he's agreed to.
I think I was.
But he tried to do the right thing by Dee Dee.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he tried to do the right thing by Dee Dee.
Yeah.
Yeah, go.
I was just saying I was getting him mixed up with Steve G from Idaho, who abandoned his other daughter. So, yeah, sorry, I was just getting the two mixed up. Must be the heat getting to me.
That's all right. And a lot of people will put. A lot of people hear bad things about Rod, but Rod actually stayed in Gypsy's life until she was about 10 years old. He paid, I think it was $1,200 in child support. I don't know if it was monthly or what, but I just know he paid his child support all the time. Gypsy went to school about year 2, and she was in a public school. And then because of everything that was going on with her health, Dee Dee pulled her out, and Rod actually paid for all of the homeschooling stuff. And this is what I mean. He gets such a bad rep because Dee Dee didn't want him there, but she wanted the money, if that makes sense. Yeah.
But
so going back a bit, Gypsy got her name. Dee Dee was in love with the name Gypsy, and Rod was actually a big fan of Guns N' Roses. So that's where Gypsy got Gypsy Rose.
Okay.
Shortly after, before Gypsy was born, Rod and Dee Dee separated, as I said, because Rod was not happy. But he did remain in her life. So I'm just going through my notes so I can get it all. 3 months old, Dee Dee was. Let's see that Gypsy had. So when Gypsy was 3 months old, was the first time that Dee Dee started saying that she was sick. It was sleep apnea that she believed Gypsy had. She began taking Gypsy to hospitals where repeated overnight stays and sleep monitoring were done. And the tests were finding no sign, but eventually she got a doctor to say that there was a sleep apnea problem. And that was what Dee Dee used to do. If one doctor didn't tell her what she wanted to hear, she would just go to another doctor. Do you know what I mean? It was crazy. By this stage, once she got the sleep apnea thing diagnosed, it was just one thing after another, because then Dee Dee realized just how much attention she could get for Gypsy. As I said, Rod had, because he was separated, he was now remarrying with Christy and starting a family with her. But he always tried to send money and help them. So, do you know what I mean? The more sicker that Gypsy got, the more money that Dee Dee got out of him. And that's basically where it all started, because it wasn't until Hurricane Katrina, because they were living in Louisiana, and then Hurricane Katrina happened when they moved to Missouri, that they started getting more help from the funds where they got the house. Jimmy Make-A-Wish Foundation. There was quite a few foundations at the time that helped them. And they got a whole range of, do you know what I mean? It was like a domino effect. Once one thing started, they just kept getting more help and more help. So, yeah. Rod tried to maintain a relationship with Gypsy. Yeah.
Sweet said something. Question mark that Gypsy had. Thingo had a child between Gypsy. I can't. Hang on. So there's a kid in between Dee Dee and
in between.
Yes. Yeah.
So Rod had an affair in the 6 months that he was with Dee Dee before Gypsy was born. He had an affair, and in that affair, he got another lady pregnant. It was a little girl, but he signed his rights away to it. So, do you mean there's not a lot about it? That's basically all it says. So she's either, I think it's younger. She's 6 months younger than Gypsy. But Gypsy has nothing to do with it, and neither does Rod. He only followed on and with Gypsy, and then, do you know what I mean, Christy. I know he's got 2 kids to Christy. But after he divorced Dee Dee, he went and married Christy, and they had 2 more children, I think. Not sure it's 2 or 3. I think it's 2. But then Rod had to maintain his relationship with Gypsy. He called often, even arranged family outings up until Gypsy was about 10 years old. Rod believed everything that Dee Dee was telling him about Gypsy's sickness and having all of these issues. Dee Dee had full custody of Gypsy, so when it came to hospital visits, she done it all. So he didn't really... he didn't speak to the doctors. He didn't go to the appointments. He was just believing what he was told and basically handing over more money to Dee Dee to help with everything she was saying was wrong.
I heard that was because the stepmother didn't want to be involved with Gypsy, so that's why he just paid Dee Dee the money. Is that... I couldn't verify that claim, but I heard it. So, did you know if that's true?
That Christy didn't want to be involved?
Yeah.
No, he stayed in Gypsy's life till she was about 10. Then it became hard because he was starting his life with Christy. They had 2 children of their own, and it was Dee Dee that... Dee Dee used to talk bad about Rod when he wasn't around to Gypsy. She's even said that in interviews.
Yep.
The visits became more irregular, especially once they moved to Missouri, because Rod and Christy were in Louisiana. Hi, Tammy. How are you, my darling? So it just became hard. He was always calling her and everything. But in the background, people weren't... because, people don't see the calls. So Dee Dee was telling people the opposite and saying that he was a drop-dead dad that wasn't around Gypsy and didn't look after her. What's not true. He paid a lot of money for Gypsy. I know money's not everything, but he done everything he could. He even rang Gypsy on her 18th birthday, all excited that she'd finally turned 18, and Dee Dee had intercepted the phone call and said she doesn't understand that she's 18. She thinks she's 14, so don't tell her. And this is where the age thing came into the fact of Do you mean a lot of people say Gypsy didn't know exactly how old she was? After Hurricane Katrina, they started changing medical records, date of births on her certificate. So, do you mean Dee Dee didn't want Rod to talk to her because he didn't want the truth to be told to Gypsy, if that makes sense?
Yeah, the scam, because she'd lose the money. Like,
yep.
A lot of those charities, once you're over 18, you're not eligible. Like,
yeah.
Is
and
that
see, a lot of the charities, that's what I mean. A lot of the charities. Go.
Is it the same in the US? I don't know. I wasn't
I'm
able
assuming
to
it
check.
would be.
Okay, so we don't know if it's the same, but we are just, as Australians, we're just going to assume that it is the same. If not, feel free to
stop giving over 18. Yep.
Yeah.
So it is. It's the same as what it is here. Yeah. But that's why by Dee saying that she was younger than she was after Hurricane Katrina, she could get more help, because that's when, up until Hurricane Katrina, she was basically using the sicknesses to get money out of Rod, because he was paying so much. Do you know what I mean? He didn't ask questions. He just gave it. He gave the child support. When she pulled him out, like pulled Gypsy out and done the homeschooling, he just paid for all of that. With the medical stuff, do you know what I mean? He was just handing money over. I don't know if it was out of sight, out of mind, but if he just thought by giving the money he was helping. As I said, he did try and call Gypsy, but Dee Dee became a big wedge in their relationship. When Rod wasn't around, Dee Dee was putting him down to Gypsy. So, do you mean that was her motivation? Then when Hurricane Katrina happened, they got their house through, I always forget what it's called, Humanity or something.
No more welfare benefits either. Okay.
Yeah, it was a program anyway that they got given a house when they went to Missouri. And then a number of foundations just started giving to them. No, they were in the house up until Dee Dee passed. It's if anyone's seen the act, it's the pink one in the act. That was one that they got. No more welfare benefits either. Yeah, I know. Yeah, so she said Gypsy was younger than what she was. Homes for Humanity, that's it. Yeah, I keep forgetting the name of it. But that's who gave them the house. Hi, beautiful Lenny. As I said, there was Make-A-Wish Foundation. There was quite a few. Do you know what I mean? They were taken on retreats. She went to Disneyland. Given a lot of stuff because of Gypsy, because a lot of people felt for them, especially going through Hurricane Katrina. Dee Dee also said that Gypsy had several chronic illnesses. Now, as I said, as a mother with a disabled son, it comes hand in hand. It's not usually just one illness, but she said that she had leukemia, asthma, muscle dysfunction, and sugar allergies. She said she had a mental capacity of basically a 7-year-old. You're cutting in and out. I don't know if you want to.
Oh, I just wanted to say muscle dystrophy, wasn't it? Or was it something else?
Yeah. No, it's muscle dystrophy. So that actually it's another interesting story. And this is what I mean. There's so many rabbit holes and stories. When Gypsy was 10 years old, she was at her grandfather's house and she fell off a motorbike that's where the muscle dystrophy came from, according to Dee Dee. And that's from the age that Gypsy was put into the wheelchair. But Gypsy also knew that she could also walk because, and this is what started getting them, when they went to a doctor in Missouri, one of the doctors actually picked up that Gypsy still had muscles in her legs. Now, if you don't use your muscle, lose it. So the fact that Gypsy was actually walking around the house at nighttime, she kept building the muscles in her legs. So when she went to the doctor could see, do you know what I mean, she still had muscle. And that's where things started to unravel for them. Her medicine cabinet was a whole linen cupboard. It was. But you've also got to understand, Sweet Mizzy, it wasn't just Gypsy's medication. Dee Dee was actually really sick as well at the end. She had diabetes really bad. She used to take a lot. Gypsy, I'm not saying Gypsy wasn't treated bad by her mum. She was definitely given a lot of medications that she didn't have to have. The feeding tube didn't have to be in there as long as it was. I don't know why doctors didn't remove it. But 50% of what Gypsy also had was only over-the-counter drugs. It wasn't all medical. And I know, like, with the surgeries and everything, there was a lot. But people have also got to understand, Gypsy had not had any surgery for 7 years before before her mum passed. I shouldn't say that way. So, like, I know that there was a lot of surgeries there that wasn't needed, but it wasn't as irregular as what Gypsy makes out now.
No, it wasn't.
No, yeah. It was a motorcycle accident at her grandfather's house.
Oh, Ozzy, what do you think of her her claim about her grandfather or uncle essaying her? Do you think that's just something she's made up?
I don't know. I don't know. I couldn't find anything to prove it. But in that respect, I don't want to say that it didn't happen either, because that's a serious allegation, and I don't want to be the one to put in someone's word, like, if it did or didn't.
Yeah.
Again, this comes from experience. My oldest daughter was interfered with by one of my ex-husbands. I know how serious it is, so it's not something that there's no proof out there.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's just say that. Gypsy says it, but there's no actual proof that it happened. So it's, and because, the thing is too, we also know that Gypsy's not a person to tell the truth, because she has learnt from Dee Dee. So it's a 50-50 chance whether we believe it or not. But there's no actual proof of it out there. There should have been charges. I'm assuming America's the same way as us with that. And I know, like, as I said, I have a daughter that was interfered with, but there was definitely charges laid, and he was punished. Dee Dee reacted to everything over an abundance. So my personal opinion, if it happened, you would think Dee Dee would have done something about it to get what she could out of it.
Exactly.
In my opinion. So I'm trying to keep up with chat too. It was, but you got to understand, Gypsy went along with her mum as well.
Yep.
Do you mean towards the end, like as a child, yes, it would have been Dee Dee getting the attention, and it was her way of doing it. But towards the end, do you know what I mean? Gypsy knew she could walk. Gypsy knew she wasn't as sick as what everyone was making out. She even told Nick that when they met up. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I strongly believe that Gypsy played just as much part of it as Dee Dee, because another thing too is what we've got to realise is Dee Dee did have diabetes really bad. If you look at some of the pictures of Dee Dee just before she passed, you can see how much weight she put on, especially in the face. How next live we do, I'll bring out the photos to really show it. But do you mean,
Yeah.
she was not well towards the end. So Gypsy had more control of what she was doing at that stage, if that makes sense.
Yeah, could I just ring in here? So I just want to mention, I know somebody who has diabetes, and gaining a lot of weight or losing a lot of weight can be a sign of diabetes getting really bad. So either way, if she'd lost a lot of that weight, it can be diabetes. If she gained a lot, it can be diabetes. I just wanted to just get that out there.
Yeah. As I said, next stream I'll bring out, like I'll make a presentation with the photos so we can show you. But if anyone's seen, one of the last pictures of Dee Dee before she passed was at the car shop with the cube car. If anyone's seen that, there's a picture of Dee Dee standing there and Gypsy's in the chair in front of her. And you can really see how much weight she put on in that one. Like, she wasn't well. And that's why they stopped going out a lot. Like, before that, they were going out all the time. Do you know what I mean? They were doing, as I said, they were going to conventions. They were going to Disneyland. Towards the end, they were not going out at all because of how sick Dee Dee got. So Gypsy took many medications and many treatments that she never really needed. I'm just going through my notes now to see if I've forgot anything. Gypsy did attend the hospital because she was having trouble with the feeding and the formulas. That's back at the start. She attended public school. So she was 8 or 9 when she finished school, but I know it was homeschooling her. I think I've said most of this. About her 18, 13. I mean, I also do know, and a lot of us will, I mean, there is movies made about it. If you watch Mother Dearest, it's probably the closest thing I found to the truth. The act isn't. The act was a good show, but it wasn't a good reenactment of what happened. You will see in Mother Dearest about the paste that she used to put on. So when people came to the house, Dee Dee would put a paste on Gypsy's mouth that would make her numb and make her drool, so that people would believe that she was sicker than she was. I've talked about the muscles. So Gypsy's teeth that she lost. Gypsy will tell you she lost a lot. It wasn't a lot. It was mainly a lot of the back ones. There is a form of diabetes that is diet controlled. I can find out exactly what she had, but I know that, do you know what I mean, it was diabetes. I know she got really sick towards the end, and it was a lot of weight that she put on. I'm just trying to get everyone's questions. I wish she would have gone and lived a normal life. Yeah. Do you mean that's the thing too? What we've got to realize is Gypsy could have stopped this at any time. Like, she was on stage a lot. She was around people a lot. All she had to do is stand up and show people that. But I suppose it was a bit too. It was what she was taught.
Yep.
If you watch, or when we watch some of the interviews, you'll see that Dee Dee actually squeezes Gypsy as if to say, be quiet, stop talking, to control what she was saying. And it's freaky because I was watching an interview the other day where she was with the new partner, Ryan, and she done the same thing. He went and she's using his mum. It's made me wonder if what she was taught from her mum, she's now doing. If that makes
Yes,
sense. That's
saw
probably
that.
just
Yeah.
in my head. But if you watch it, you watch them closely. I'll have to find that interview so we can watch it because it's very interesting to see what she's doing now.
Where is that available? I think you can find it on Facebook. Still. Ozzy, are you frozen? Gypsy was in control. Yeah, she definitely did manipulate him, Kaz. Sorry, bad service here. Do you think Gypsy should still be in jail? Well, I think she should still be in jail, but not a jail. I think she should be in a place like those mental health jails. Because she clearly, the way she's behaving, I don't think she's ever going to change. So I think she should be in jail, a very nice mental health jail. Because she has no empathy and she has no, what's the word? Guilt. Because she didn't grow up with that. She grew up manipulating and lying. So, yeah, I think she should still be in jail, but like maybe not a jail, like a mental health jail. Oh, okay. It's just stopped. Aussie's computer stopped, so she's got to reload again. Worth a try. I agree with you. Yeah, I mean, seeing how she behaves on social media now, I mean, I'm even worried for that Ryan, I think it is. Yeah, I'm a little bit worried for that guy. Wouldn't it, like if it comes out later, like a year or two, that they're divorced, or if he gets unalived, I would not be surprised. But just, I don't think Gypsy's with Ryan for any other reason than he's easier to manipulate. And I think Ryan is kind of sus on why he's with Gypsy too. The fact he's a special needs teacher, that sort of doesn't really, that bugs me. I don't know why. It's like did he also target unalived by Gypsy? She's very selfish, unalived. Yeah, that's what I meant to say. Wouldn't be surprised if Ryan was unalived by Gypsy in the future. Maybe not directly, but what else? Yeah, so that's my thoughts on it. What's really creepy to me is how much Ryan looks like Dee Dee. I mean, even without the Photoshop filters on the meme, they look really alike. alike? And is that some sort of psychological trauma bond? She sought out Ryan because he looks like her mother. I don't know. It's just strange how alike they look. Like, if you put Ryan beside Dee Dee, I've heard others saying that's a possibility and that he looks like Gypsy. Yes. You're right. Others are saying the same thing as well. There's even kind of a bit of a joke about it. Like, people are making those photoshops of them side by side, and one of them both wearing glasses. I'm pretty sure Ozzy can bring that up when her computer's working better if she wants. But yeah, there's a lot of images that we found. And we also found the case file. Not discovery, unfortunately, but just the case file report. So that was very interesting. Yeah, but we'll probably go more into that next time. Like, if you're in Australia, you've probably heard about the heat wave, severe weather warning up where I am. Oh, you're welcome, TTB. Ozzy's really great. She's really nice. So, yeah. Oh, you back? You back? Are you back? Or did you drop off again? Huh. Thanks, TTB. I'm in a different region to Aussie, so my accent's slightly different. And Tammy's would be slightly different as well. Anyway, back to the case. We found the case files, and what Ozzy said earlier about the interrogation. Like, there's just some of her behavior in that interrogation. Oh my God, how she tries to play the police officer and the police officer's not buying any of it. It's disturbing. Gypsy is profiting from her story. If she had anything of empathy at all, she would be helping people in similar circumstances. Yeah, I agree with you, Kaz. She's trying to spin it now as raising awareness of Munchausen, Munchausen, how do you say it? Munchausen, I don't know how to say it properly. Munchausen by proxy. Yeah, she's saying that she's doing it to raise awareness, but I don't believe it, personally. You're back? Tell me you're back. Oh, yeah, you're back.
I'm sorry.
Was trying to running out of things to talk about without going into like what
I'm sorry, I don't know why it keeps closing on me. Yeah, so I just want to touch on the teeth because then it sort of brings up their relationship. Yeah.
About that image, Kaz agrees that they look like Ryan looks like Dee Dee, and that there's talk going on like that.
Oh my God.
It wouldn't be surprising if in a few years Gypsy unalives Ryan.
I don't think it would be Gypsy that would do it, but I wouldn't be surprised if she got someone else to do it. She's not brave enough to do it herself, but she will find another Nick, if that makes sense. Like, I don't think she would actually have enough, because then she can't blame it on somebody. The only other thing was about her teeth. So Gypsy will go on about how she lost all her teeth to the medication. That is not wholly true either. At night time, Gypsy did used to get up and drink a lot, like sodas, and have a lot of sweets. So a lot of the teeth that she lost was actually due to the sweets and the sodas and things like that. So it's, Jimmy, you've really got to look at how much was actually medical and how much wasn't medical.
I'm just going to grab a glass of water, if that's okay.
Yep. Just trying to answer any questions, because that sort of brings us up to now where she meets Nick. What we'll do next series, because hopefully my net's better. It's come out 3 times on me. I'm sorry. There's nothing worse than a toothache either. So next series we'll go into the relationship with Nick and Gypsy, and then into what happened. And then I do want to go and watch, like, I want to bring the interrogation videos on because they are so telling of what happened in this case. I will bring up the pictures that Mac J's talking about. And you've also got to realize, I seen one, I think it was yesterday, and they had a picture of Nick. Then they had a picture of Ken, who was another man that she did get engaged with while she was in jail before Ryan. And then there was actually another man after Ken. And they're all thin. I'm not picking on people for size. And then there's Ryan. So Gypsy really had a type, and Ryan's not it. But I'll bring the photos out to show you all.
I'm back.
My granddaughter's at school next week. Hi, Mark. How are you? So we'll be able to get back on a lot more. I won't have so much time taken up with school holidays. I do have another live on Tuesday because it's my birthday on Tuesday. As some people know, we went out last night for an early birthday with my family. But hopefully, Mac, you'll come and join me on Tuesday for my birthday live.
Oh, sure will.
It'll be an open panel, so anyone can get up and come and say something. It'll just be on for an hour. My granddaughter starts school that day. So I've put it for about 11 o'clock because that way I should be home from dropping her off. I was just saying next episode we'll get into be more the relationship between Nick and Gypsy and how they met, and going into the interrogation videos and some of the photos that we have. Because trust me, me and Mac J have like a bucket load of photos to show everybody.
Bucket load, yeah.
But I just thought today we could, I thought today at least talk about Dee Dee, because I'm sick of everyone thinking this case is about Gypsy, and it's not.
Oh, tell me about it.
But it also shows us where Gypsy gets some of her traits.
I mentioned earlier, but we found
the case head for
case file, and I just wanted to say that it is 150 pages we've had to read through of that. Do you know if that's the one that the police turned up that day?
It's like half. Yeah, it's half the file, so it sort of cuts off halfway. And if you look at it, it actually says book 1. So I'm trying to get book 2 now. What would be the rest of the file? Because I have joined a lot of groups with it. There is a group that I've joined that's on Nick. And it was one of the ladies in there that sent me the same file you did. So I've wrote to her to see if she actually has the rest of the file. Because it's 2 books. So I'm assuming the other one's probably the same size, but they broke it down into 2 files. But we will bring that out next time as well. as I said, Tuesday
We
we've got my birthday live, so we'll probably head for Friday or next Sunday to do the next one on
Yep.
Gypsy. I have been watching very closely the 3 Kansas deaths in the backyard, and I do want to touch on that one. I seen Sweet Misery done a live on it, so me and Mac J might try and get Sweet Misery up here to talk with
that
us
would be
about
fun.
it, because it's very interesting. Oh my, it's crazy. The lawyer comes out every day with a new story. Like, we've got to
I'll
catch
have
you
to
up on
watch
that one.
those. They're fun. Oh, so I wanted to ask something. I didn't ask it in Messenger. Would you like to go over Idaho sometime?
No,
Yeah,
yes, I
because
do.
I'm a nerd for that.
There's so many we want to touch on, because up until last year, I just wanted to do Aussie crimes. And it's kind of this year, I've just had enough. And I said, that's it. I want to do American ones because their crimes are so interesting and there's so much to talk about. Oh, thank you, Kaz.
Kaz, thank you.
So, yeah, I do want to talk about Idaho. And I know you have heaps on that one. And Delphi is another one I want to get into as well.
Oh, that breaks my heart. It's still, okay. I'm not bagging out the Watts case. Don't get me wrong, but I absolutely despise the fact that case gets so much attention, and I'm sad for the victims. Blah blah blah. But it's the case, and I know we're going to cover it eventually, but I think that case it takes too much light from other cases that desperately need the attention and awareness, like Delphi, that case you just sent me today, Savannah, and a whole bunch of other cases. And then I saw someone comment, I'm just getting this out of my system, that it was a horrendous crime.
No, you're right.
And I'm like, it's a bad crime, but it's nowhere near as, like, in terms of the scale of horrendous crimes, it's not, it's in the middle. I would not call it at the top of the list. So yeah, I need to get that out of my system. But are we still going to do Watts?
Going back to I do want to go back and do Watts as well. That's what I mean. There's so many that's in the I was just trying to find, going back to Savannah.
Well, we had a little update on that.
Just trying to. Well, I seen a picture today that I wanted to share with people, and I'm just seeing if I can find it, if my computer's going to hold up long enough for me to show everyone. Because they've now had both the funerals. So Matt's had his and Savannah had hers. So this is going back over to the Savannah one that people know will probably know that we've covered.
If you don't know about the case, check the last 3 lives that Ozzy and I've worked on the case. Yeah.
But I wanted to show. This is baby Fabian. So it's been.
Oh my God! You found it. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh God! Now I'm sad.
So it's just something that I wanted to share. I know they had 3. It was Matthew's family that put it up, and it's now all over the group. So I thought I would share it. But that's beautiful baby Fabian.
I hope they go for the DP.
So do I. But if anyone wants to hear about the Savannah case, as we said, there's 3 that we've done on that one already. We probably will do another update on his, but I just wanted to share that photo because he's absolutely beautiful. And to think that he didn't even get a chance to be here.
we followed that case from the start. So if you go back to Ozzy's lives, you might actually see images that are gone now. So make sure to check them out.
It is so sad. But thank you everyone for coming. As I said, I do have Tuesday's one up already. I'll talk to Mac Jay about whether we do Friday or Sunday next week, but we'll definitely be back next week for another Gypsy one, and we'll go over the relationship between them and get into what actually happened. And then I want to go into the interrogation, because the interrogation videos are very telling in this case. Very, very telling.
Oh, they are very, very telling. I'm surprised that it even got out, that they released it at all.
Especially both of them. But anyway, we will see you on Tuesday. Thank you, beautiful Mac J, for coming and joining me again.
Don't forget to
Tuesday.
Yep. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe, everyone, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Thank you, guys. Bye.
There's too much that's going on, I don't know what to do. Paralyzed by options in this world, can't pick and choose. Yeah, everybody's life is on display, including you. Yeah, I feel every day is just the same, stuck in a loop. I need some variety, I'm sick of this anxiety. I'm sick of this society, they make us feel a rivalry. Compare ourselves to others, but we all got different mothers. We were raised in different structures, so we're different, it's no wonder, yeah. I just want a great life, something where I feel like I just didn't waste time. Something I look back and say that was a great time. Cause man, I just hate when the years pass by the wayside. Yeah, lost inside, and I need a little time to find who I am in this life. I will find a way to feel alive. I'm so lost inside. You better watch out now, I figured something out, what this whole life's about, yeah. It's not the goal, it's the journey, wasted emotion is worry. I'll stop being in a hurry, and I'll just enjoy what I'm doing. Keep pushing forward and moving, appreciate the improvement, yeah. I was so stuck on a goal, was losing sight of my soul. Need to enjoy getting old and be so present. I don't know if there's a heaven, but I know I wanna get in. And sometimes I feel a presence, energy in a direction, so I follow intuition. It took me to a musician, now I'm on a different mission, to help others with afflictions. Now I'm not lost inside, I finally have seemed to find who I am in this life, and I found a way to feel